So they were essentially incarcerated for their sexuality, but they were also made to work in order to get what was considered to be kind of a moral rehabilitation. What they were trying to train them to do was to become domestic servants. So they would again go from the institution and back into the homes of the middle class, where they would be under surveillance essentially for the rest of their lives. They were involuntarily, but they couldn't really leave. In fact, if they left, they could be charged with the theft of their uniforms.
Glasgow's Magdalene Institution opened in 1812 to counter what was perceived as the moral decline of the city. It moved to its new home in Maryhill in 1864. Perhaps surprisingly, it wasn't run by the Catholic Church, but instead by local authorities.
The Victorians called them prostitutes. They used that word very, very loosely. It was very ill-defined. What they tended to be, though, was generally young girls and teenagers who were victims of sexual assault, who were homeless, who were poor, who were basically on the street. And the idea was to find women and essentially rescue them by putting them in the institution.
Their moral rehabilitation involved working in the laundry, which also raised funds for the institution.
Was essentially supposed to be a way of sort of cleansing for sort of their moral behavior, right? The idea of washing away the stain on their character due to their loss of virginity, whether they had been seduced or raped. What's sort of an interesting tribute to the ending of this particular institution is in 1953, the women in the institution, the girls, they'd had enough, and they decided they were going to have a riot. And so they climbed up on the roof of the Magdalene Institution, and they were throwing notes down to the reporters, and they were running through the bushes, and the police were trying to round them up. And although they had never committed any crime, they weren't really allowed to leave the institution.
The Women's Support Project charity is now working on raising awareness of the institution, with plans to create a memorial on the site of Lockburn House, to finally remember Glasgow's forgotten women.